Yo, what's good? I'm Marcus, the debt free dad. And in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about an anonymous letter that was posted on a Reddit finance post. We're going to dive in and we're going to talk about, is this person smart or is this person, kind of. Now, before we dive in, I am a licensed attorney, but this isn't legal or financial advice. I'm just giving y'all my opinion, takes, and topics, finance concepts, and current events, attorney reactions. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, hit that bell notification so you can get notified when new content is dropped. Now, as a way to find interesting topics for the show, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead, jump on Reddit and jump into a finance forum where, people post crazy finance questions. And some of the time, those questions that they post in that form are wow, crazy as hell. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this letter that was posted on the forum a few days ago. Y'all give me y'all thoughts. It actually made national news. I've seen articles about it, but I always get an update when some crazy ass question post. I'll just show you the headline. I read everything. I'm not going to read the whole article. I will just give y'all the short, quick, fast version of the story. But you can see from the headline here, the headline says multi-millionaire reveals he hides his wealth from his family and even rents a small apartment whenever they visit so he can keep his true riches secret. I laugh as soon as I hear that because I'm just be honest. I think that just sounds kind of crazy. But let me go ahead, talk a little bit about what's going on, give y'all the background so we can put things into its proper context. Now, before we even get started, we have to think this person is not a U.S. citizen. They weren't born in the United States. They are essentially a first generation foreigner who's new to the United States, which I think plays a really, really big part of the story. So, hey, what's going on? I appreciate you tuning in. But I think it plays a really big part in this story, the fact that they're essentially a first generation foreign citizen here. Okay, here's the story. This guy grows up in his home country. He's the first one of his siblings to actually go to, they call it uni, to go to, and he goes to college abroad in the United States. Okay, now he said once he was in college, his parents, like, I don't know, called him maybe once a month or a couple of times a month to check on him, but they never really hounded him. They never really harassed him. They never really called to check on him every week or every my moms do, which is wild. But they just kind of called him real sporadic. So once he graduated, he landed his first job. And it doesn't say specifically what his degree was in, but he landed his first job. Now he did say in the States, the money they made was not a lot of money. But in his home country, it was a gang of money. So this dude was balling. He was like, the minute he graduated, the first thing his parents asked him was, how much do you make? And when he told them how much they make, he said the entire mood changed, the way they contact him, what they talk about, everything changed. So he told them how much to make is not how much he made his first job. Wasn't a lot in the US, but when you hit that conversion rate, wherever his home country was from, he was balling. So he said his parents started to call him every day and just started to ask him for stuff, ask him to buy this. Every time they wanted to come out and visit, he had to flip the bill for the ticket. He had to pay for all of their expenses and everything while they was here. Now, I think this is interesting because I remember when I was in law school, my best friend was from India. And it was just like they couldn't say no to their parents. Like it was wow, that's just a cultural thing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, nah, if it don't make sense, I'm be like, hell nah. I don't care, mom, dad, like they already know what time it is. But in these other cultures, it's like because your parents raised you, they have the ultimate say in everything that you do. This includes like your decision to go to school, what type of career you want to be in, the whole arranged marriage thing. And so I can remember that first year of law school where everybody is going out getting internships because that's how you start your make sure you get your legal career on the right trajectory. My homeboy was back at home helping out in his parents' restaurant because they told him that's what they had to do. And I personally think that put him at a disadvantage because everybody else working with judges and at law firms and prosecutor's office and doing all this high speed stuff. And this dude was working in a restaurant. So when that second time around, you're applying for jobs, everybody want to know, well, what did you do last summer? And he didn't have anything to give a lot of weight. But I think that's important to note that this person is a first generation foreign citizen to the US, and how they treat their parents is completely different from how most Western how most people in the United States may treat their parents. And so he graduated. He told his parents how much he was making. Wasn't a lot in the U.S. It was a gang of money where he was from. They started calling him every day. He would get morning texts saying good morning. He's flying them out. They expected the flight for the flight, the expenses. This dude essentially paid for everything when his parents made a trip. And it was so funny because he said his told him with his first check, he should give his first paycheck to his parents as a way to kind of repay them. He also requested that he pay for his siblings, his younger brothers and siblings, younger brothers and sisters to go to college. And so they just kind of leaned on him hard. And so what he decided to do was, rather than just grow a pair and be like, nah, we can't keep doing this, essentially, he started to progress in his career and make more and more money. During the pandemic, he said he worked on a business. He started his own business and was working because he was working from home. He had a lot of time to cultivate that business, and his business grew exponentially. His business grew to the point where he could quit his 9 to 5 job. He quit his 9 to 5 job at that time. He called his parents and told his parents that he got fired. He was unemployed, so he wouldn't have that much money. And when his parents come visit now, even though his parents flip their bill because they don't think he has a job or he's between jobs, his job sporadically, this dude rents an apartment in nearby town just so he can have a small, modest place. So when his parents and family come over, they can't see how he's really living. Now, y'all let me know. Do y'all think that's fair? I think it's more goofy than that, in my opinion, because first of all, you have to learn to tell people no. I don't give a damn who it is. If your parents, your kids, your spouse, if you don't learn how to tell people no, you're gonna be doing exactly what this guy's doing. And I'm sure he's a multi-millionaire. He can afford his apartment just to fool his parents, so his parents don't think he have any money. But that's just kind of goofy. You're wasting all that money just to keep up a live charade when you can just tell your parents no. You can tell your parents, no, I'm not doing that. I help y'all out. I get y'all some stuff, but y'all trying to lean on me too hard. I think that's completely fair to say. And I get it. I understand. I tell this story all the time on this channel. I know when I graduated law school, my father was like, yes, I'm proud of my boy. My mother was like, we graduated law school. So she looked at it completely different. And people imputed income on me because of what I did. I was like, yo, I'm a public defender. I don't make that much money. Nobody trying to hear that. They impute income. And so I understand. I'm not saying my parents aren't as bad as this guy's parents because that's ridiculous. But I have one parent who's just like, I don't have to ask for nothing, and the other one who always act to ask for something sometimes. And it is kind of annoying. I'm just be honest. It is kind of annoying because I think when a parent in this situation always leans on their child and they don't even know that this guy's a multi-millionaire, but I think a parent leaning on that child, especially if that child like has a family and kid, I think it's kind of selfish not to even put things in the context. Like, why would I ask my son to help me with something that I want? It's not a need with something that I want when my son may have kids that he got to put through college. So a little inconsiderate, selfish, in my opinion. But this guy is just perpetrating a fraud to his parents just so they can stop asking them for stuff. So at some point in time, he actually got to man up and get the heart to be able to tell his parents no. It don't mean you can't do things for your parents. It don't mean you have to be disrespectful. you have to take a line to draw a boundary. There's a difference between a need. There's a difference between me helping you for a need. There's a difference between me helping you with a want. There's a difference between me doing something because I want to do it of the kindness of my heart. Because technically, I don't know. My view is has to be here. So I don't expect my son makes music and he made a couple $100 last month streaming his music on Spotify. And I told him, I was like, man, if and when you blow up, you ain't got to do anything. You ain't got to give me nothing. I'm not gonna ask you for nothing. The only thing I told him I want to do is, hey, let me read all your contracts before you sign them. Like that was my way of protecting him. But I think that for me, the benefit of being the ultimate win as a parent is if you raise a child can stand themselves on their own. For me, I think everybody's going to need help, but I don't think parents should take advantage for things that they want that's within their power that they can do. They just don't want to do them. But the other part is, and again, this person is a first generation foreign citizen, so we have to take that into context. But the other part is like, I don't know, like ladies, do y'all really want like marry a guy who like, yeah, well, if he's a multimillionaire, the answer is probably gonna be yes. But that don't seem kind of like goofy. Like I feel like at some point you gotta grow up. At some point, you gotta man up. I say man up. At some point, this dude gotta man up and learn how to tell his parents what the boundaries on what he can and can't do. I think that's kind of goofy. Like is that's showing potential doormat behavior. Someone who doesn't know how to tell someone no or set boundaries, you are a hop, skip, stepping away from becoming a human doormat. You can't, if you tell your parents no, you damn sure won't be able to tell your spouse no. You probably won't be able to tell your kids no. And I've seen this happen where people are pretty well off, but because they can't tell a loved one no, their husband, their wife, their girlfriend, they break back, go to that, trying to give them everything that they want. That's crazy as hell. And I think this dude is, I'm not going to call him a goofy, but right now he's standing in line to purchase a first class ticket to Goofyville. Multi-millionaire side. I give him credit for becoming a multi-millionaire because that shit is not hard to do. To start a business, to grow to a point where you can quit your 9 to 5. But you got all this business acumen and can make all of these strategic decisions, but you ain't got enough heart to tell your parents, I'm not going to buy y'all everything that y'all want just because y'all think I should buy it because y'all believe I'm well off. Like, nah, that's kind of soft. Like I said, he's almost not a doormat, but he's in line to get that ticket to head to Doormatchville. So I think the biggest takeaway from this story for me is we have to learn and understand the power of the word no. No, period, is a full sentence. And it's something that you have the right to say. You aren't obligated to really, I mean, this is just me, my point of view. You aren't obligated to take care of anyone outside of your immediate family. Once you grow up and you have your own family, your family is your number one priority. If you can help to do something without taking anything out of their mouth that they need as essential, by all means, go ahead and do that. That's your choice. But if you can't tell people no as a grown ass man, that's kind of goofy, and you really need to change and adjust that behavior. And the thing I found is when you tell people no, they'll tend to stop asking you for stuff because I don't like I made it a habit a long time ago to stop loaning people money. I don't loan people money. So like if somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, you got $300 I can hold," it's gonna either be yes here, be no here, or it's gonna be like, I got 150, I can give you 150. But I typically don't loan people money. Um, if I can give it away to give to you, I'm gonna give it to you. Now, I think the last situation where I could tell you, and I don't think I ever told this story before. I remember who I had it from. I heard it. I don't know if it was some, I can't remember who the finance personality was, but someone who was extremely irresponsible asked me to borrow money. And they never asked me to borrow anything because they know I normally don't loan anything. If they asked me to borrow money, and my exact words were, and I thought this was fair. I was like, "Hey, what you asking for? But if I give it to you, this it. You can't ask me for anything else ever." And I'm like, "I give it to you, and I won't even ask for it back. But this is gonna be your first and last time. There's no do backs. There's no come." And you know what? They damn sure didn't ask me. They was like, "Never mind, I'm good. I figure it out." Because like when I put it into that context, it made them think. I think when I put it in that context, it made them think, should I really ask for this? Is whatever it is I need this money for this important to where I'm never going to be able to go back to the well again? And I only really did that because it was a relatively substantial amount of money. But it's those situations from a irresponsible person wanting to borrow something are completely different from somebody who's responsible about something. If I had somebody who is completely responsible and they always show traits and characteristics of being responsible just as a grown ass adult, and they come and ask me for something because hard times fell up, it's a 99.9% chance I'm gonna do it. I'll be like, yeah, I got you. This person will never ask me for anything. They normally responsible. I know that it's a one-off. But if you fall in that other category where it's not a one other category where it's not a one-off and it's just a person is habitually irresponsible and they did something irresponsible to get them to ask me, nah, you're probably not going to get it. Or if I give it to you, I'm gonna give you the option of if I give it to you, don't come back asking me for shit else. Point blank, period. But you got to understand the power of the word no. If you can't tell people no, that's not a them problem. That's a you problem. It's probably you being a little bit soft. I get we have relationships, we have family, we feel obligated to help people who helped us, but those obligations only go so far. It's a thin line between you feeling obligated or you being soft and somebody taking advantage of you. Uh, being a welcoming pad for people to come to or being a doormat for people to wipe their feet on. That's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you check out the video on the screen. It's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions.